Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are restarting the game from the last hard save before building the ship, and today we will be rebuilding the ship, doing some research, and hopefully we'll get to a point where we can start exploring the different star systems around the starting point. Alright, so let's start building the ship here. It's a little small here, but that should give us a little bit of room to build. As for the side, we want this thing to be around 14 wide, because that means that we can fit in 3 engines in there. And we want to have at least 3 engines so that we can move around and expand the ship a little bit more. As for the shipbuilding, the game offers a pretty good objective line for you to follow. So all you have to do is just follow the current objective, do the stuff that it orders you to do, and you'll get a working ship. Now, I'm not building those things in the right order, because there's certain things I want to build first. For example, I want to build the research bench as soon as possible and the research station as well, so that we can start doing research. That's the only reason why we're rushing the ship building anyway. We're gonna build the X2 system core for this ship, so we'll have some extra system points which we can use to build the ship. Okay, so I'm estimating that we'll be staying here for like 20 days. We have oxygen for 27 days and food for 33 days. So 20 days, I think that's a good estimate of how much time we can spend here on the first system. And now we're in the middle of day 3, and we just got the airlock finished. Now, as we have the airlock finished, we can build the X2 system core, and after that we can start building the energy and power generator and other life support systems and other stuff inside the ship. We're also going to be adding the research lab, and not just one, we're adding 3 of them inside the ship, so we can have 2 or even 3 people researching the same tech at the same time. That's going to save us some time. Then we have the tools facility, research workbench, gas scrubber, oxygen generator, thermal regulator build, and next we're working on the kitchen and the break room on the other side of the hall we have over here. And then on the aft side of the hall, we'll be adding in the X1 toilet. So you have the kitchen, the break room, and the toilet built here. Now all we need is some crew quarters, some beds, and we can have our researchers live here on this ship. Or, well, it's... technically this is called a station, as it doesn't have engines and no way for it to really move anywhere right now. I think we'll be adding the crew quarters over here on this side of the ship and make this a long 4 tiles wide area for the crew to be sleeping in. Then we also want to add in an operations console, just in case that a ship, a friendly or neutral ship, comes in and wants to do some trading with us. And we're gonna be adding some lights to the workplaces or around the workplaces. I don't know how it works over here on this game, but on similar games, adding lights to the workplaces usually speeds up the work or just makes doing the work more comfortable for the crew. So I'm hoping that's the case here as well. So adding lights will either speed up the work or make it more comfortable for the crew, and that's gonna help us out in the long run. I also want the researchers to already start living in the ship, so we're gonna be adding crew quarters to the bow port side section of the ship so that the researchers can just stay in the ship. They don't have to go to the station anymore. And finally, once we're reaching the end of day 4, we have reached living conditions on the ship. So we have enough temperature and we have enough oxygen for the crew to stop using their spacesuits, which will make the working a lot more comfortable for them. Also, we did not set off the research, so we should be doing that right now. We want to have power capacity nodes and solar panels, and once we have that secured, we want to be starting Botany 2, and start doing composters as well. And after that, we need to start working on power, so X1 power generators. Now, the captains can use some decorations, so we'll be adding those to increase the comfort of the crew. It's now day 6 and we got the first cabin done. So it's time to start moving people in, and the first one we're going to be moving in is Ira, who is our researcher. There's a couple of ways to move people in and out, and one is to go to the crew tab and just change the home ship to whatever you want it to be. Our current objective is to build storage facilities, so we're going to be adding a small storage building so that we can first do the objective, and also more importantly we can start moving inventory from the station to the ship, and anything else we have can be moved from the space station to our ship. It's gonna help us out on the logistics department also. Unfortunately, we're running out of infra blocks here. And now with more cabins being done, we can move Dallas into HSS Myron as well. Now Dallas is our botanist and our secondary researcher. So I'm not sure if it's a very wise move to move our botanist to the ship where we don't really have anything, any greenhouses just yet, or well, grow beds, but we'll see. In the aft of the ship, we'll be having the industrial area. So we're gonna be adding a large power node there, so that we'll have a little bit of extra room when it comes to power distribution, because we're also gonna be having the engines here, and they also need the higher level of power to run. It's now day 9 and we're expanding the crew quarters so that we'll have cabins for all 6 crew members we currently have. Day 12, and we've started clearing out the area next to the airlock, so the operations console, the navigation console, and the research research facilities have been moved to the bow of the ship, and will slowly clear up the central area. So after the research area and the command area, we'll have the kitchen and the dining room area over there, right next to the crew quarters. And we finally managed to do the solar panel research. So if we can manage to squeeze in some solar panels, that's gonna save us some power crystals. We're also adding a point defense turret to the bow of the ship, and we should have the thing built to the aft of the ship and to the middle part of the ship somewhere, so that will be defended from asteroids and enemy bot swarms, and I think possibly from enemy ships. And we also got botany research done, so now we can do grow beds, as long as we have the room for the grow beds and the infra blocks to actually build them. And we have botany dew research done, so now we can do CO2 producers for the greenhouse, which we naturally don't currently have, as we don't have enough room for the grow beds. Now, we have been clearing the area around the airlock, because this area will have the shuttle hangar and at least 2 bot hangars, one for the miner and one for the builder, and then we should have a couple of storage facilities built here, large storage preferably, so that we can start moving things in here and store them in here when they come in from the airlock. It's now day 15 and we have an incoming ship, Military Alliance, so there is possible trade we could do. Of course, trading at this point is going to be a little difficult because we don't really have any money, so we need to basically trade with something that we kind of need, and we have a lot of needs, so yeah, not fun to do trading at this point. So right now we don't have the engines, and we're running out of infra blocks and hull blocks. So the ideal situation would be to abandon the base right now and just scrap everything in there. But I can't find a way to abandon the base right now. I don't know what we need to do. I think all we can do is jump out of here and then come back. Then we can build we can scrap the base. But to do that, we need to have working engines. And that's a little bit of a problem because we're really running low on every possible resource we need to make those engines. So yeah, a little bit of a problem there. We can still probably do the engines. I think we have enough scrap and enough resources to build with the building machines on the base, but yeah, it's this is not a fun situation to be in. My original plan was to have at least 3 engines on the ship, but I don't think I have any resources to do that. Hopefully I can do at least 2 engines and get this ship out of the system and then I can come back in and scrap the base for the rest of the resources I need for the third engine. The crew keeps complaining that they don't have enough entertainment, so I guess we'll be doing the jukebox research as soon as possible, and hopefully we'll be able to build this for them in a short while, once the more critical systems are online and working. And finally, it's day 17 and the ship is technically able to jump out of the system. We're not ready to go. We're not ready to leave this system just yet. We need to clear out as much of the stuff from the base as possible, but once that is done, we'll be jumping out of the system and then coming back and scrapping the rest of the base. But just to be on the safe side, we'll be doing a hard save right here. So if anything goes wrong, we can come back here and do a rerun. So with everyone aboard and most of the inventory from the base in the ship, it's time to finally get out of here. So hyperdrives are ready, let's jump out and we'll be dropping back in. We're not moving even to the next sector, we're just jumping back in. We'll deploy right next to the base, and ASB Finlay, we're gonna be abandoning that. And now we can start scrapping it. Salvage everything and then transfer and sell it all, transport everything to our ship. And we have the hole breached already, and people are moving items out of the storage area to the airlock, and they are scrapping the different buildings and facilities we have on the old station. We will hopefully get plenty of scrap material to work with, and we can start expanding our ship. Now, as we're gaining more hull blocks and more infra blocks, we can start making the greenhouse, and that's going to help us out in making sure our people have something to eat. One thing I should point out is that when you're scrapping more high-tech items, you're going to get research points for that. So we got sematics information +7. So we've got X3 power generator and 7 points to that research. So it might be better to just run around the galaxy and start scrapping things, because you would get research done as well. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm still wondering whether it was a good idea to linger here for what, 19 days or so. It's day 19 and I still have not really gotten out of the starting system. So yeah, it's an interesting question. Which one is better? Wait here, do research, take your time building the ship, or just pack up everything and get out as soon as possible and start scrapping derelicts and what have you to get more research points quicker. And on day 21 we got the X1 power generator research complete. So now we can move from Hyperium to energy rods. This would give us plenty of extra time when it comes to power. However, we are missing the resources to actually build this thing. And now finally on day 23 we are done with the first system. We have 11 days worth of energy left, 13 days worth of food left, and 26 days worth of oxygen left. So yeah, not much left on the resources, but hopefully we'll manage and we will not run out any of those resources. We shall see. Okay, I think this is a good point to call it a day. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and we'll be returning for our next episode. Bye for now.